The visit to the fire academy had been planned as just another stop, a chance for former President Donald Trump to show support and speak to new recruits. But what unfolded was far from routine. It became a moment that none in that room would forget, especially not Emily. Emily, a young and determined firefighter trainee, had worked tirelessly to earn her place at the academy. She had joined the program with a fire in her heart, sparked by a personal tragedy that changed the course of her life. Her brother, a firefighter, had died in the line of duty, and from that day forward, she knew she wanted to follow in his footsteps. When Trump arrived, the room buzzed with anticipation. The trainees lined up in their uniforms, expecting a speech filled with policy talk and encouragement. What they didn't expect was a raw, emotional exchange that would leave many speechless. Trump began by touring the facility, shaking hands and offering words of praise. When he reached Emily's group, he paused, noticing her solemn expression. "You look like you've got something on your mind," he remarked. Emily hesitated. Then, in a voice both steady and vulnerable, she asked, "Sir, how do you carry on knowing the cost of service when those sacrifices are rarely acknowledged?" The room went silent. Trump was visibly taken aback. It wasn't a question he could brush off with a practiced answer. His mind searched for the right words. After a long pause, he spoke, softly at first. "I've never had to make a sacrifice like the one you have. I've never lost someone that way. But what I do know is this. What you do, it matters. It matters more than speeches or headlines. The people you save, they'll never forget you." Emily's eyes welled up, but she didn't look away. She held his gaze, seeking sincerity. Trump continued, "I don't know if that helps, but I hope it does. You're a hero in every sense of the word." The silence broke with a standing ovation. Applause filled the room, not just for Trump, but for Emily, for her bravery, and for her willingness to voice what many felt. As the crowd quieted, Emily felt a weight lift. She hadn't been looking for validation, but she found something close. Her brother's memory and the weight of her sacrifice had been recognized in a way she hadn't expected, from someone with the power to amplify her voice. Trump, too, seemed changed. The encounter had stirred something in him. He had answered countless questions over the years, but none had landed like this one. It gave him a glimpse into the world of sacrifice most never see. The tour continued, leading into a training simulation. Thick smoke and blistering heat filled the space as recruits sprang into action. Emily stood out, swift, composed, clearly a leader in the making. Trump watched, impressed. "Think they're ready for the real world?" he asked Captain Miller. "They're more than ready," she replied. "But it's not just physical. It's about having the mental strength when everything's falling apart." Later that day, as Trump was leaving, he noticed Emily standing alone by the exit. She wasn't with the others, not posing for pictures. He approached her quietly. "Emily, you were great out there," he said. She looked up, surprised. "Thank you, sir." "I've been thinking about your question," he added. "What you do? It doesn't go unnoticed. Not by me. Not by anyone who truly understands what sacrifice means." Emily nodded, her voice softer now. "Thank you. That means more than you know." A week later, Emily received an official letter from the White House. Inside was a message of appreciation from Trump and an invitation to a special ceremony in Washington, D.C., where she would receive an award for bravery and service. She hadn't sought recognition, but the acknowledgement meant everything. At the ceremony, Emily stood tall, her uniform crisp, her heart full. Trump stood beside her, presenting the award. "This is a symbol of your courage. Thank you for all that you do," he said. The applause that followed was thunderous. But for Emily, the true reward was in the lives she had touched. That day, she connected with other honorees, firefighters, soldiers, paramedics. Their shared experiences and quiet conversations impacted her deeply. Emily returned to the academy with renewed purpose. Training intensified, and with it, so did the emotional toll. On tough days, she replayed Trump's words. "It's about resilience. It's about showing up even when it's hard." Those words gave her strength. Then, during a high-pressure drill, a simulated fire spiraled out of control. The smoke thickened, and panic threatened to break out. Emily stepped up, leading her team with focus and calm. When the drill ended, Trump, visiting for a follow-up, approached her. "You led with courage. You kept everyone safe." That evening, they spoke again over dinner. Trump told her, "You lead with your heart. That's rare." Emily admitted, "Sometimes I wonder if it's enough." Trump assured her, "It is. You already make a difference, even when you can't see it." Emily began mentoring younger recruits, sharing not just techniques but emotional resilience. One day, she received a letter from a woman she had rescued. It read, "Because of you, my children and I are alive. I can't thank you enough." Those words hit harder than any award. Later, during a massive city fire, Emily was among the first responders. She found a woman trapped inside. Guiding her to safety through flames and fear, Emily realized again it wasn't about the fire. It was about giving someone a second chance. Moved by her continued service, Trump arranged another meeting in D.C. this time to discuss how to support first responders nationwide. Emily spoke candidly about mental health, resource shortages, and the emotional strain firefighters face. Trump listened and promised change. But then, tragedy struck. Captain Miller, her mentor, was diagnosed with a terminal illness. Emily was devastated. At a small ceremony in the academy, she gave a heartfelt speech. "Without you, I wouldn't be the person I am today." Captain Miller passed peacefully, her legacy living on through every recruit she trained. Emily stepped up, embracing leadership with strength and humility. She was no longer just a trainee. She had become a guide, a symbol of service. Years later, she stood on stage once again. But this time, the award wasn't just for bravery, it was for impact. She had inspired a new generation. And as she looked out over the crowd, she remembered that one question she asked Trump long ago, the question that changed everything. And now she knew every doubt, every challenge, every sacrifice,